The last few years in the corporate world, I felt like a minefield for many professionals out there. We've had working from home, then back to the office, major shifts in technology, and the pressure to keep up just keeps growing. Hey there, I'm Andrea, a leadership coach. In this video, you'll meet Sarah. Her story, it's one I hear often. But instead of me telling you about it, let's hear from Sarah herself.
Hi, I'm Sarah. From the outside, I probably look like I have it all together. You know, the classic successful executive type. But let me tell you a secret. Appearances can be deceiving. Every day I walk into this building, my second home really. It's where I've built my career, my reputation, and every day I put on my game face. It's like armor, protecting me from myself, I guess. See, while I'm smiling and nodding, shaking hands and making decisions, there's a whole other conversation happening in my head. It's exhausting, really. This constant battle between the confident leader I appear to be and the doubtful voice inside that won't shut up. Hey Tom, you okay? Anything I can help with?
Thanks, Sarah. I could use some advice on the Johnson account.
See? Outwardly, I'm the picture of composure, a rock for others to lean on. But inside, I'm questioning every word, every gesture. And now, the moment of truth, the boardroom, where careers are made or broken. Good morning, everyone. Today we'll be discussing the KU quarterly projections for our new product line. Oh no, did you hear that? That tiny stumble? In my head, it might as well be a full-blown disaster. And just like that, all my preparation, all my experience, it all seems to vanish. Back in my office, I can't stop replaying that tiny stumble. It's like my mind is a broken record, stuck on that one imperfect moment. Because that's healthy, right? Obsessing over every little mistake, as if everyone else in that room even noticed. But you know what? I'm tired of feeling this way. It's time to do something about it. Overcome self-doubt. I've heard journaling can help. It feels a bit cheesy, but hey, I'm willing to try anything
So
at
now
this
you meet
point.
Sarah. She's a blend of many people I've worked with, smart, capable professionals facing real pressure behind the scenes. If her story felt familiar, I'm not surprised at all because that quiet pressure she feels, it's more common than you'd think. Life in the corporate jungle can be tough. It often means leading, whether or not you have the title to match. You make decisions, collaborate, keep things moving, even when it's messy. But behind the scenes, it often feels like it's all on you. That's why I created this video for people who are capable, thoughtful, and ready for the right change. I want to help professionals and solopreneurs show up steady, clear, and credible, especially when it matters most. Not with performance tricks or hype, but with something deeper. That something is self-leadership. So, what is self leadership? I define it as the ability to intentionally guide your thoughts, emotions, and actions in a way that aligns with who you are and what matters to you. And when you lead yourself well, it directly shapes how you show up on the outside. That's what creates presence. And we all know presence is a key ingredient for career success. Now, you can't have presence without confidence. Confidence shows up in how you speak, how you listen, how you hold your ground, and even in how you handle setbacks or own your mistakes. Confidence is something people sense, and often it's the difference between being heard or being overlooked. When you speak with the courage of your convictions, people are more likely to believe what you say. I'm sure you've already experienced that. That kind of presence, when you have that, it builds credibility, and credibility is what opens doors. It's what allows you to influence, to persuade, to lead. And over time, it shapes the opportunities you're trusted with, which then directly impacts your career progression. Presence is how you differentiate yourself, not just by what you do, but by how you show up. So, what gets in the way of that kind of presence then? The kind that feels natural, steady, and true to who you are. It's really a knack of technical know-how, especially when you've already done the training and have the experience. The biggest barrier is what's happening inside. Professionals like Sarah struggle because when the pressure's on, it's hard to stay grounded and use what they already know with confidence. That's where self-leadership comes in. It helps you steady yourself when nerves kick in, to speak with clarity, not fear, let go of perfectionism, and stop withdrawing, especially when you need to be seen. It's not about pushing harder. It's about learning to lead your thoughts, emotions, and nervous system so that you can actually use the strengths and knowledge you already have. Now, some of you might be thinking, but I am self-led. I've gotten this far, haven't I? Yes, you've worked hard, you've earned your seat, you've practiced what can be called discipline, I suppose. But self-discipline is not the same as self-leadership. Discipline pushes you to get things done. Self-leadership helps you decide what's worth doing and how to stay true to yourself while doing it. Because it's not just about external success, it's also about feeling steady and self assured on the inside. To Sarah's credit, she realized she needed help. Let's see what she does.
The company's hosting a leadership workshop today. Might as well give it a shot, right?
Remember, confidence isn't about being the loudest in the room, it's about being steady, even under pressure.
That's Michael. He seems so at ease with himself. I wonder what his secret is. Hi, I really enjoyed your talk. I'm Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah. Glad you found it helpful. You know, building confidence is a journey. Want to grab a coffee and chat more?
And just like that, I found myself a mentor. Michael's advice? Start small. Daily practices to build that inner steadiness. So here I am trying new things. Meditation? Check. Power poses before meetings? Feeling ridiculous, but check. Positive self-talk? Well, I'm working on it. Rome wasn't built in a day, right? Baby steps, Sarah. Baby steps.
So Sarah got help. Great. Getting a mentor was a smart move, not because he had all the answers, but because he helped Sarah connect with her own voice again. That's often the real power of support. It reminds you that you're not alone and you don't have to figure it all out in isolation. I actually relate to Sarah very well. I spent years over-functioning in leadership roles, hiding behind spreadsheets and proposals, hoping my work would speak for itself. I was capable, I delivered, sure, but I couldn't shake the feeling that there had to be more to life than just getting things done. My solution? I thought I needed more knowledge, so I enrolled in an MBA. With hindsight, I can see it wasn't what I actually needed to stop the grind and the over-preparing. However, it did lead me to the right solution. I started getting an inkling of that during the leadership module. That's when things started shifting. For the first time, I wasn't just learning about strategy or systems. I was looking at me, how I led, how I showed up, what I believed about myself. That's when the real questions started. And those questions led me to self-leadership. Because it turns out, until I'd learned to lead myself and not just my workload, nothing really changed. Since then, I've become a real self-leadership practitioner. It's transformed everything about how I show up. But I'll share more about that in another video. In Sarah's case, things started improving after she got help. But progress is usually not linear. Let's see what happens next.
But you know what they say about pride and falls? It's like I'm walking on a tightrope and the wind's starting to pick up. Sarah, the client report was disappointing. Great. Just great. Feel that? The ground's starting to shake. Okay, don't let it get to you. Stay steady. But it feels like I'm trying to bail out a sinking ship with a teaspoon. And our projections show, Miss Thompson, do you have the figures or not? I apologize. I seem to have... No, this can't be happening. All that work, all that progress. It's like watching a house of cards collapse in slow motion. Maybe I'm just not cut out for this. Maybe I've been fooling myself all along.
Sarah's story is a familiar one. A few steps forward, then back again, right? She was relying on strategies that helped her manage the moment, like affirmations, power poses, or quick resets. And sometimes they worked, we saw that. But without addressing what was actually happening underneath, the same patterns kept repeating. And when that happens, then something deeper is at play. That's when we need to shift our thoughts, our beliefs, and assumptions, not just our actions. Maybe that's where you are right now. On the outside, you may seem put together, but inside, you're holding it all together through sheer effort, over-preparing, withdrawing, quietly afraid you're going to mess up. And I get it. The world of work today, it's intense. There's constant pressure to do more with less and to stay relevant. And in that kind of environment, even the most capable professionals can start to question themselves. This doesn't mean there's something wrong with you or that you need fixing. It's simply about recognizing what's not working without judgment or criticism, and then giving yourself permission to want something different. and finding a way to make that real. So what if you could show up calm, clear, and confident? Not by pretending, but because you're finally playing to your strengths, just naturally being you. And what if, instead of it being fleeting like with Sarah, that confidence becomes sustainable because it becomes part of who you are? That's what this channel is here to help you build. So if you want grounded, emotionally intelligent guidance, not hyper hustle, if you're ready to stop second guessing and start showing up with presence, then you're in the right place. Hit subscribe and stick around because I'll be sharing everything I know about building steady confidence, even under pressure, from the inside out.